Hello everyone, and welcome to a different video from what we have been doing for the past couple of days. Um, so basically to summarize, I have an annoying sore in my cheek which makes it hard to talk for extended periods of time. So this is just an idea to have a shorter video that I've been wanting to actually do properly for a while, but that I never got around to. Um, So, uh, like, I think it was March that I recorded the first version of this. So, as some of you may know, I used to be part of a project called Faerun Heroes the with a team of very talented individuals. And however, so to summarize, Faerun Heroes was a D&D inspired Minecraft mod pack thing that's goal was to make a entire MMO within Minecraft. And well, needless to say that it didn't turn out. Like due to many iterations and versions the server went through, it ended up not happening, and after a while, the so the team started working on a new project, Valorbound. Back in March, I was reminiscing about the olden days and stuff with Faerun Heroes and what I used to do as the lead quest designer and pretty much all around story person for a lot of stuff. And Faerun. In the initial versions of the server, when we had quests, I was entirely my entire job in the team was to develop all of the quests for the game. So every NPC dialogue, every side quest, every there wasn't a main quest, it was all just smaller quests. Every chain quest, a lot of shop dialogue, a lot of filler fluff NPC dialogue, everything. That was my job. And I did it alone because I did get to work with some different people as time progressed, but a lot of people didn't either realize how much work a lot of the quest development stuff was, or just vanished for personal reasons that never really got resolved, or usually just vanished and stopped interacting with the project after said vanishing. So, but I stuck around, and I'm still technically part of the team. I just am a Discord moderator now for it because I have too much stuff on my plate, and Valorant doesn't really suit itself much to what I used to do. It's not. It's a very different style of game to what I used to develop. But now that you have a general idea, so in the last version of Faerun Heroes, there was it wasn't as focused as quests because partway through, before the what became the last version, we had a massive issue internally with the mod we were using to do quests, where basically caused all the as far as can understand and far as I was told at the time, basically the mod kept refreshing the player all the player or data of the mod like every couple minutes or every time a player did something or something like that. Either way, it was completely bricking the server, and thus all my hard work had to get removed. Whatever. um and so because of that, we still have the that mod, but just using it for NPCs and such, and not for massive quests to kill monsters and get items and all that. Instead, it was just small dialogue things and stuff. And so in this final version, what Faerun was before it ultimately shut down, I was just in charge of making lots of NPCs to fill the hub with. I didn't do a very good job, I'll be honest. I This was at the point where I procrastinated a lot and honestly was just not really feeling too connected to the project as a whole because I didn't I don't like making just fluff, but I did have fun doing what NPC work I did do. And I am rather infamous for making a lot of references and putting a lot of reference humor or just references in general into my work. So, I figured that a fun video we could do is I could go over I in the last version in this last version of Faerun, I was tasked with writing down every single reference, bit of dialogue or NPC, mostly just NPCs, that included. Just so that if people went through and with the objective of finding all the references and stuff, we would have an internal checklist as to, oh, have they actually found everything? I will say, I'm glad no one ever did that because it's literally impossible because it requires my knowledge and it requires to know characters that only I would know because the internal in-jokes for like two or three of them. But as it is, we will now switch over to, I believe this is the right scene. Yep. This is the thing. So, this document is divided into the different streets of the city. And, yeah, sorry if it looks a bit wacky. Having to get a window capture and then zoom it in like this was a bit messy on OBS. From what I could figure anyway. So, basically, starting off, this is the first major reference no one would get. This is a reference to a character I never even played. So, on West Emar Street, there was a woman named Katie Starweaver who I believe she was like a pie merchant or something initially? Or something like that. I don't know. I think a lot of these NPCs' jobs changed a lot as the game developed. Katie Starweaver was a reference to my character Ruby Starweaver rather, and Katie implies that Ruby is a relative of hers in like a couple bits of dialogue. I think she said some like it's been a while, okay, like this version of stuff was like late 2019. So it's been like over 2 years at least. Um and so I think she had some sort of dialogue about like wanting to talk to her sister Ruby about something. Um, this reference is impossible to get because I never played this D&D character. It was a concept for a character I would play that I never played. Second one on West Emar Street was Bob Larryford, which is a reference to VeggieTales, which is something I grew up with personally. So, he was like this weird guy with like, I think he was in, I don't even remember what race or whatever he was. I think he had like reddish skin and bright green hair or something ridiculous like that. He did not look normal. I'm seriously surprised he was allowed to exist. Um, then Dmitry Cheddars. He is basically a reference to a recurring character in a D&D show I really like watching and I need to catch up on called High Rollers. In their first campaign, Lightfall, in no correlation to the new Destiny 2 expansion that's coming out, there was this NPC that worked for this villainous organization that was like the big bads of the campaign. His name was Dmitriev, and basically in the campaign, one of the players tormented Dmitriev using a illusion magic to turn himself into an old woman and just tormented Dmitriev. And thus, He references a strange old woman who is obsessed with Jesus, known as Granny Trelmar. Granny Trell. He is obsessed with the finest of Jesus. I don't think I'm doing his accent well, but whatever. Um, then Puma, which is actually a reference to something I don't even know the reference of. I think he's a Critical Role character. I don't know. It was just some Furbolg, um, that I named after. There was no Critical Role references in his dialogue or anything. And on East Demar Street, we have Snatcher, who is a reference to the Hang Time character Snatcher. I don't even remember what Snatcher was. I'm assuming Snatcher was like a Kenku or something, I think. But yeah, no, that's a very loose reference. In Marble Thornside, it was. No, this must have been 2020 because this is Mabel Thornside, is Mabel from Animal Crossing, so this must have been during lockdown with New Horizons because I was playing New Horizons a bunch. Um, and then Thunderstaff Way, Lixus Deveris, I'm butchering my own NPC names, makes a semi-meta joke referencing typical RPGs by saying maybe a cover to store your legally acquired cheese wheels. Yeah, it's just a joke about RPGs where you just steal random crap. Mainly Skyrim with this specific reference. And then Kalidorhe is a reference to a character one of my friends plays in a D&D campaign I play on Saturdays. And Kalidorhe references another character played by another one of my friends called Eclipse. I had originally intended to have all four members of that party be referenced in some way in characters. I just never really figured out how to do it and never did it, pretty much. And then the gathering professions, you have Simon Dew, who is Simon Honeydew of the Yogscast, aka Simon Lane. And he basically references Yogscast stuff with Pig Island and Lewis Brindley, his co-creator of the Yogscast, which is a massive streamer content creator group that originated as a WoW guild of all things. And then in the Yawning Portal, you have Ken Felix, who is a reference to Risky Ken, who was the original developer for the Armor's Workshop mod, which is a mod that we used to make everything not look as Minecrafty. So, like, to make all the character models and stuff. I might see it. I think I have some old, like, model stuff on my computer still from the Faerun days that I can drag it up and throw on screen. No one editing do that. And then I don't even remember what Gordon Jailman in the auction house looked like, but he was a Gordon Freeman reference. Yeah, that's about it. And then in the northeast city area, you have Draws, who is Draws has a very interesting history. He was originally a daily quest giver in the I think it was the first iteration of the server, or I think it was the second iteration of the server I worked on. Either way, he was a daily quest giver who basically was a lizard folk guy who was walking around the beaches outside Waterdeep and was just getting attacked by birds, or originally it was crabs, but then we had to kill the crabs and replace them with birds for see my crab dance video meme thing to understand why that ended up happening. But basically the he ended up, like, I don't know if I used him in any other eras since that one other than this, but basically in the Northeast City area in this version, he's basically just this, like, beggar or vagrant or something, whatever, just sitting on a street corner completely blind now because the birds have pecked out his eyes. and he just sits on the street corner talking to the passersby. It's actually quite a depressing thing. Oh, Adamus Verisus, who was this guy, was literally just a reference to the Ocean Man meme. I think it was Triton, who literally just was standing on like some balcony overlooking the ocean and just made references to the song Ocean Man. Ocean Man, take me by the hand, take me to the land. And then in the weapons shop, you had Robert Roswell, which is which sounded and who was named after and looked a bit like Bob Ross. I don't think he had any dialogue that remained of that. But yeah, there are a few other ones that just aren't in this that I didn't note down. One is a NPC that existed called Bu Ne Stew, who was a NPC in one of the previous eras of Faerun that I made, and Bu Ne Stew was I loved Bune. I loved Boo so much because they're basically in the first era of Faerun, they were literally just passed out on the ground and were just in a pile of books. And then in this version, they were in a bookstore and selling books, and they're basically a bunny person who would constantly apparently get asked about cooking books because people wanted to cook the bunny person. And so yeah, that's basically the joke with Bune. Because their name is Bunny Stew. There was a couple other I feel like there was other bits and bobs, but that's most of the ones that existed in this version of Faerun. Um, there's probably as I said, there's probably was more, but I'm not sure about them off the top of my head because I can't remember. Um, but yeah, basically this was a very short trip down memory lane to just go over some stuff that I made in the past when I wasn't just making videos and whatever and doing whatever I do now. I'll be honest, I couldn't tell you what I do now. But yeah, it is very I'm very nostalgic for Faerun Heroes because it was a very um it influenced my life a lot and gave me some interesting um gosh, where's my brain at? It gave me an interesting uh it gave me a chance to figure out my own work ethic and figure out how to work with other people and how to create stuff for more than just myself and create stuff that people would actually experience and enjoy, which is something if the fact that I'm doing content creation again doesn't give it away, I do really enjoy making stuff that other people will see and maybe enjoy. Because even if nobody sees anything I do, I'm making it because I enjoy doing it, not for money or I mean I can't monetize any of my stuff right now anyway, if I wanted to. But not for money or fame or anything like that. It's just I enjoy doing this, and so yeah, Faerun gave me that chance. And back in the day when I was working on Faerun stuff a lot in the era before the one we've mostly been talking about, where I was doing all the quests and stuff, I did a lot of live streams on Faerun. And because of a lot of those live streams, I almost became an affiliate on Twitch. Almost. Didn't get, I think it was 9 followers off or something really infuriating. Um, But like I streamed a load on Faerun, like working on quests, chatting with friends, and yeah, it was a lot of fun and enveloped a lot of basically 2019 for me is just working on Faerun and other personal projects that I don't think I might talk about every now occasionally, but I don't think I'm gonna highlight those because those were just me and my friends mucking about with Minecraft usually. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. It's been interesting looking back on the history of Faerun and what sort of led here in a weird way. Because back in the day, when I. Back in my day, Gosh, I sound like the old lady. Um, yeah, back in the day when I did Faerun work, I was well, not if not completely consistent. I did do a lot, and I'm happy with the work I did, even though it's all lost now, as far as I understand. Because I don't think there was ever a way. I don't think any of the NPC dialogue or anything or quests I made could have ever been salvaged, which is unfortunate, and it does pain me a bit with that. However, I will say that it's probably best it's not because my writing was real bad back then. So yeah, probably best for that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here, and so I can just edit this and figure out thumbnail and all that and get it uploaded, so I can hopefully stop this thing from hurting. Um, so yeah, this has been an interesting look into the past. I'll see you all later. This is going to go up on Saturday. I will say that I am probably not going to have a video for Sunday. I'm probably just gonna do like I'm gonna try to do a stream on YouTube for Sunday because then it will just be a VOD. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. It's either gonna be Little Inferno, Celeste, or Lobotomy. I do have other games I'm gonna do for this whole thing. It's just I had a couple ideas for them. For games that didn't really work, which is why I'm sort of doing this, because I am kind of pressed because it's yeah, I need to record something to go out on Saturday. So yeah. Anyway, I will see all of you later. Bye bye now. This is also a really, really short video in comparison to like the 40 minute to hour long videos. Anyway, catch you all on the flip side. Bye bye.